are blazing through Unit 2, Business 201, Principles of Marketing with Professor Jolene. We're in Unit 2. We have done Chapter 6. We have done Chapter 7. We're getting ready to do Chapter 8. This is one of those chapters that you want me to be careful with. I can get crazy and get carried away. Not going to do that. Going to work real hard not to. This chapter, I'll give you kind of the chapter is called Product Strategies. So really I could call this chapter Product. This chapter just tells you everything you want to know about products and probably some things you don't want to know, but you might be interested to find out, especially if it'll help you on test number 2. Okay, let's look at, first of all, what is a product? That's the very first thing I put here on our Chapter 8 handout. You know, we said products can be goods, services, experiences, ideas, any offering that can satisfy consumer needs and wants. Any product that can satisfy, a product is any offering, anything that can satisfy consumer needs and wants. I'd be familiar with that. First thing that I put in the handout. Now I'm going to probably erase, well I know I'm going to erase this big product because that was my introduction. Chapter 8 talks about product this, product that, product something else. A lot about simply the product. A product, and I'll use this little one here. You can see on our handout there's a core product, an expected product, and an augmented product. Let's use an automobile. The core product, the fundamental benefit. What's the fundamental benefit of an automobile? Get you from point A to point B. Now the marketers, do they spend a lot of time saying, hey, you know what our automobile will do? What our Buick will do? It'll get you from point A to point B. No, I mean everybody knows that, but that's the core product. It's a fundamental benefit of the product, like you'd be familiar with that. The expected product, this is what you expect to have in a product. If you buy a new vehicle, what would you expect? You know, I mean, I know you expect like an engine and that's doors, but I mean, would you probably expect power steering? Probably a nice audio system, air conditioning, electric windows. That's the expected product. Most all products have what, you know, it doesn't have to be automobiles, any product. There's the core product. Then there's the expected product. When you buy a product like this is what you expect. Most of the time marketers don't market their expected items either because all products have that. Augmented are the extra or unsolicited benefits. Most competition by companies are at the augmented level. Those things that's what makes their product different. Yeah, I've got, everybody's got air conditioning, but I've got those heated cup holders. Oh wow. I've got navigation. I've got, you know, whatever. So I want you to be familiar with what a product is, the core, expected, and the augmented product. All right. Now, he wants to look, that's one way to look at products. And marketers look at that. When they look at their product, they look at their core product. Make sure the core does what it's supposed to do, the expected product, it has the things it should have, and then how they've augmented that product to make it even better. Okay. Free shipping, whatever it happens to be with the product. Then you have what's called durable and non-durable goods. Some products are durable, some products are non-durable. What does that mean? A durable good is something that stays with you. That automobile we're talking about, that's a durable good. There's a prolonged use for that good. A non-durable good is something that does not have a prolonged life. It has a relatively short life. You get a box of cereal. After a while, that cereal is going to be gone. maybe even, I'm not sure. Now, dry erase marker, maybe that's a durable good. I'm not sure. But they're durable good, prolonged life, non-durable good, because a shorter lifespan because of the type of good it is. I'd be sure to be familiar with that. Now, product classification. And again, I'm not going to put a lot of this on the board just because we've got the study guide and we can look at it. I may put enough so that I'll remember the ones I won't talk about. Convenience goods, preference goods, shopping goods, and specialty goods. What's important about this? All goods are one of these four types. They're a convenience, a preference, a shopping, or a specialty. How much do you care? You don't. You very seldom go out and say, I'm going to go out and pick up a couple of convenience goods. I really need a specialty good today. We don't think in those terms. How important is this to marketers? Big time. Here's why. Remember, what do the marketers have to bring about an exchange? They have the 4 P's. They have the product, they have how it's priced, where it's placed, and how it's promoted. How they use these 4 P's is tremendously affected by what classification of good they are selling. So I want you to know these product classifications. Okay, let's go through them quickly. Convenience goods. They are relatively inexpensive and frequently purchased. Name me some convenience goods. What do you buy frequently with a minimum of effort? Milk, chips, soft drinks, water, gasoline. Those are convenience goods. We don't want to spend a lot of time buying those. We want to get those when we want them and go. They invented a place to sell those kinds of goods. What's it called? Convenience store. You ever wonder why it's called a convenience store? Because they sell convenience goods. All right, those are convenience goods. Preference goods. Preference goods are convenience goods that have become differentiated through branding, through loyalty. Isn't that interesting? A convenience good becomes a preference good when you want a particular. I don't want a soft drink. I want a Dr. Pepper. I don't want chips. I want a Dorito. I don't want. When a preference good is a convenience good that is of a particular brand or a particular preference. Convenience goods become differentiated through branding, loyalty, that sort of thing. I don't want candy, I want some M&Ms. Okay. Marketers really want you to buy preference goods, not convenience goods, and they want to be their preference. So look, marketers know this. If they can get you to buy their product, then you're going to go in and buy that product, go in and buy that product, go in and buy that product. So part of their placement and a lot of their promotion has to do with moving you from a convenience good to a preference good. Does that make sense? They want you to prefer theirs. Because once they can get you to prefer it, it's harder for the competition to move you off of it. So chips would be a convenience good. Doritos would be a preference good. Soft drink would be a convenience good. A Dr. Pepper would be a preference good. You kind of get the idea. A shopping good. Now, a shopping good, it's a higher risk. It's more expensive. As goods go, convenience preference goods are relatively inexpensive. Shopping goods are higher risk. You will make an effort to find and evaluate a shopping good. Hey, I'm going shopping. Why are you going to shop? because I know what I want, but I don't know exactly which one I want, what kind I want. What are some really great shopping goods? Clothes, shoes, a TV set, $200, $300 for a TV set. There's tons and tons and tons of shopping goods. When you may go out, convenience goods, maybe you run out and buy some milk, but you may go to the grocery store to shop for your groceries. Those would be shopping goods. More expensive than convenience goods. And people are going to shop for them. They're going to compare and select. So if you are selling shopping goods, you want to be in a location close to other shopping goods because there's going to be comparison done. And you're going to do some things on your website and everything. You're going to do some analysis stuff to show your good is better than their good. And you're going to do on your in-company display, you're going to show how yours is a superior good. See the idea? Now, specialty goods. Specialty goods, I say the ultimate in differentiation and brand loyalty. Only chosen brand is acceptable. Okay, specialty goods are the most expensive type of goods. Those are those items that you don't buy very often, and that you will go to considerable effort to buy. Car, house. A $250 or $300 TV set is a shopping good. If you decide you want to buy a 90-inch HD RMZ/AAP 007 TV something, that would be a specialty good. If you go out and buy a Timex watch, that's a shopping good. You buy a Rolex watch, that's a specialty good. Okay. So specialty goods, people will make extra effort to buy it. They're very loyal to a particular thing that they want, that sort of thing. Those are ultimate in differentiation. Boy, you really want your specialty good to be different from anybody else's. And you're going to be targeting specifically those markets that would be interested in and can afford your specialty good. I want you to know the 4 types of goods. I want you to be able to give me a part of a sentence about what each one of them is, and then give me an example of each kind. Okay? Again, do you care, except for test number 2, do you care tremendously? The answer is, no. But do these people, these marketers care? Yeah, because how they use the 4 Ps is going to have a lot to do with what type of classification. All right, let's talk about branding. Most goods, lots and lots and lots of goods are branded. Now, what is a brand? I'd be familiar with this. A name, design, symbol, or combination that identifies the product or the seller. It's used to differentiate the product from the competitor's offering. Let's talk about brands. What's that? Not the peace sign. Mercedes. Wrong color here, but the Golden Arches. All right, McDonald's. Now this one's a little hard for me. The Nike swoosh. Okay. You have brand names. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. By the way, who's the spokesperson for Kellogg's Corn Flakes? Tony the Tiger. And Kellogg's Corn Flakes, they are what? They're great. Right. A name, design, symbol, or combination that identifies the product. Now here's the thing about branding. Why are they so into branding their products? Number one, brands bring equity or value to a product. I've come to know that steel products although somewhat more expensive than some that you can buy at Walmart, are quality products. They're good, dependable products. They have value. They have equity. So they bring they bring equity, awareness. You see those golden arches? You're aware, you know what it is, you know what it's going to look like, you know what the menu is going to be. There's brand awareness, there's brand equity, there's brand loyalty. Some of us are loyal to certain, and again, I'll go back to steel products. I'm loyal to steel products. And the last one is image. They give a product a certain image. There's an image that a product has. There's a loyalty that a brand has. There's an awareness of brands. There's equity. There's value in a brand. For that reason, branding is very, very important for companies. And it's also very important. I'll do that in a minute. But let's see. I've already done most of this, but let's see. The brand name. Well, we've already talked about that. The brand name could be Ford. The brand name could be Microsoft or whatever. The mark or logo. And we looked at some logos and that sort of thing. Some characters. Tony the Tiger for Kellogg's Corn Flakes. What are some other characters? That gecko thing for Geico. That's a character. Hey, the Michelin Man. Pillsbury Doughboy. Okay, all right. And you probably have about 100 others that you're conjuring up. Trademarks. Now, let me mention, since brands are of value to companies, because brands carry with it an image, a loyalty, an awareness, and an equity, companies are very careful to protect their brands. These last two things down here, trademark and patent. If you see Coca-Cola, can't spell it, Coca-Cola. Okay, at the very end of it, you'll see a little R that's circled. That means it's registered. It is a registered trademark of Coca-Cola Corporation. These will be registered. Some things, like when drugs or some certain products are made, they get a patent for that product. That patent means they have the property right to that product for a period of time, usually at least 20 years. So I just want you to be familiar with what a trademark is. It's words, symbols, marks, or signs that are legally registered. Trademarks are legally registered. If I wanted to open up a small, let's say kind of a hardware, type store in Monroe, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to name that store Walmart. It's not going to work because Walmart's not going to let me do that. I'll show you one of the most protected brands around. I think I put it on your handout. I know I did. The Olympic rings. You cannot use the Olympic rings if you think, well, I think I'll just use that in some of my advertising. I'll use that as a background or something like that. You can't do that. The United States Olympic Committee and just they are very, very protective because of the image of the Olympic rings. So you'll get a letter in a hurry if you start trying to dilute the image of the Olympic ring. So I'd be familiar with what trademark is. I'd be familiar with what a patent is, the grant of a property right. All right. Now, let me ask you this, and I think it's in here somewhere, and I'll do it right here. What's a generic brand? It's non-branded. A generic brand is kind of an off-brand or a non-brand. Well, now wait a minute. If I just told you all these cool, good reasons why companies protect their brands, they have trademark rights, they have patents on things that have been invented, so to speak. What makes generics attractive? You got it, price. Generic drugs, a lot of generic products are going to sell considerably cheaper. And so there's something I want to throw out here. I want you to be familiar with this. And I don't know where it exactly is, but people want quality. People want a lot of things with their products. But still in 2020, you know what still the deal breaker can be? Is price. Price is still very important to consumers. Do you want high quality? Yes. Do you want a comfort? Yes. Do you want it? But I'm telling you, price is a big deal. So just keep in mind that quality and other things, they're certainly important and they do make a difference. But still, marketers have to keep into consideration that price is still a deal breaker in a lot of different instances. Okay. Generics, non-branded. And the thing about generics is the price. All right, let's see what else we can do about products. Back of my sheet, line extensions. That means if you have a line of products and you add something new, you have a line of Kool-Aids and you add a new flavor of Kool-Aid, roadkill flavor. Okay, that would be a line extension. Then a brand extension. You might add a new brand. You have Steel weed eaters. Maybe you come up with Steel zero turns, something like that. Family branding. That's where different products are named, brand name used for more than one product. Now, Steel's a great example of that. You have a number of different lines of Steel, automobiles, family branding. If you've got a brand that has equity, awareness, loyalty, and image, then you want to name all the things that you sell with that brand name. That's family brand. I'd be familiar with what family branding is. Okay. All right. Packaging. All the activities involved in designing the product container. When it comes to products, the package. Is the package important? How you package it? What's the number one thing that packaging is supposed to do? If somebody said protect the product, that's very true. Let's say that you've got a TV set sitting over there on that desk and it's in a package and it's protecting that TV set. What else is that package going to be able to, if I walk by and look at that package, I can say, that's a TV set that's being protected by that package there, by that box. What else would that box be doing? What else probably would that box be doing? What else can you learn by looking at that box? Is it going to be very attractive to make you maybe want that product? Is it going to tell you what type of product it is? Maybe might it give you the price of that product? Warranty information, a www.com that you can call. The features of the product. You see what I'm saying? So packaging is to protect the product, but packaging is a whole lot more. When you go down and buy chocolate chip cookies, and everybody should buy chocolate chip cookies, they're great. It's a chocolate chip cookie package. Is it going to be black and gray? Of course not. It's going to be bright. It's probably going to be blue or something like that. And it's going to have yellow, it's going to be blue, and it's going to have white milk, and the cookie's going to be splashing in it or something. It makes it attractive. Wow. Okay. Now, a couple of other things I think, and I'm probably mostly through, because I know I have product you to death. Product core. Product, the expected product, the augmented product, durable products, non-durable products, all those things to be familiar with. Product classifications, no, I have already erased that. That's something we have to know the different classifications of products. Tell me a little something about each one and give me an example. Product branding, we have to be familiar with what branding is. A name, design, symbol, or combination that identifies a product. It differentiates the product from its competition. I want you to be familiar with the things that brands do for a product. Give it equity, awareness, loyalty, and image. Be familiar with what a trademark is. Be familiar with what a patent is. Okay? Be familiar with what family branding is. That's where the particular brand name is used for more than one product. It's basically used for all of the products that they're selling in the family. Product diffusion. Now this is not a huge big deal, except it's a term. Sometimes I get hung up that I want you to understand terms. Manner in which consumers accept new products and speed of new products adoption. Product diffusion is like product classifications. You don't really care a lot about it, but marketers certainly do. The rate of product diffusion is really, really important to marketers. The manner in which customers accept new products and the speed of the new products adoptions. You may be putting out a product that you know it's going to take a while for people to get used to. It's something new, it's something different, and people are going to have to examine it. So you know that you're going to have some considerable expense up front, and you're going to have to do a great job of promoting that product before you can get the buying public to buy that product and accept that product. Some drug products are perhaps that way. Other products, product diffusion, it happens just, the Harry Potter movies, all you had to do is when you release one, everybody wanted to go in there to see it. Product diffusion there is very, very quick, and you know it's going to be, or you want it to be. So product diffusion has tells you some things about how you're going to utilize the 4 Ps. Okay, the product life cycle. I'm going to throw this kind of up here. I want you to be familiar with what product diffusion is. Not a big deal, just what we have in the handout. The manner in which and the speed in which consumers accept new products. You may have again with diffusion, you may have a great product, but you know it's going to take a while for people to buy into it. And you know you're going to have to promote it in such a way that they will buy into it. Other products, you know that as soon as it hits the market, it's going to be crazy. So you got to be prepared to have as much of that product available as possible when it hits the market. Product life cycle. Product life cycle has to do with sales and profits of products. This is a product life cycle. The product is, oh there it is, my black disappeared. The product is introduced. Then the product goes through a growth, G-R-O-W-T-H, that's growth, G-R-O-W. A growth phase. It goes through a maturity phase, then it goes into decline. And the product life cycle has to do, as I mentioned here, it has to do with sales and profit. Some products have a very short product life cycle. A movie, a pretty doggone good movie that, well, of course, nobody goes to the movie anymore, but once we get back to hopefully doing that, a pretty doggone good movie, how long will it stay on the big screen? 3 weeks, 4 weeks? If it's really good, 5, 6 weeks, 7, and then it's gone. You introduce the movie, man, everybody loves it, but everybody's watching it. It's growing for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks, and then it's in maturity, kind of holding its own for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks. It goes into decline, it goes away. And so that's the product life cycle of a movie. Then that movie may come back out, or will come back out as a DVD. So what happens? It goes through that whole product life cycle again. Are you really, really, really excited about the product life cycle? Probably not. Are marketers a little more concerned about product life cycle? Yep. And here's why. The 4 P's again. When you introduce a product, have you already spent money? Oh yeah, a lot of money in promotion and building it and doing it, whatever. But you haven't made any money yet. Then, so when you introduce that product, do you want it to go into a good growth period? Wouldn't you like to go into a growth period forever? But that ain't going to happen. But it's going to have a growth period. And then it's going to have a period of maturity where it's, making money. It's just a good product, but eventually maybe that product declines. Sometimes in a normal product life cycle, you hope to break even somewhere here, start making a profit somewhere here late in the growth cycle. The longer you can keep a product in the growth, the longer you being a marketer, the longer you can keep it in maturity, the better. Coke. Coke is in maturity. How long has it been in maturity? A long, 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 long time. Do people still buy Coke? Yes. What has Coke done to keep it in maturity for so long? Different flavors, things like this, their promotional efforts, all go to keeping Coke in maturity. Maybe one day Coke will go into decline, but I'm not sure. I always like to do this in class. It's not as good when I do it here on the this way, but there's this. I always make this statement. There's this gal that I know that's been in maturity and she's still looking good, and I get a lot of confused looks on people's faces, like, what are you talking about? I'm just talking about this gal I know, and she's been around for a long time, but she's doing good, making money. And then I get a few guesses and everything, and then I said, oh, wait a minute, now she's not alive, never has been. No. And then somebody, sooner or later, if I keep talking about it enough and we keep saying a few things about it, somebody will say, Barbie. I say, that's right. The product life cycle for Barbie. Barbie's still around. Barbie's doing pretty good. Do you know when Barbie was born? If you do, that's probably sad. Barbie was born in 1958, about the same time as the Etzel. But Barbie has lasted a lot longer than the Etzel. Barbie's over 60 years old. Okay? But Barbie had a great growth phase. And now she's in maturity, and I just can go off the camera here. She's still in maturity. Why has Barbie stayed? Barbie may be in the edge, maybe be in slight decline. Maybe. She's still doing okay. How has Barbie done this for so long? Barbie's size has changed, her waist size, this sort of thing. Do you know that there's been lawsuits against Barbie? I tell you guys, I want you guys to do this, and I do it when nobody else is around because they'll think you're weird. Google Barbie and read about Barbie. Read about Barbie from a business perspective, okay? Ladies, please do the same. Barbie's very interesting. Had a very interesting life. But Barbie has been around for a long time. She reinvents herself. She changes her look. She changes her attire. She changes. Barbie goes camping. Barbie does this. Barbie does something else. And it's kept Barbie in maturity for a long, long time. So I always like to mention Barbie. Now I'm going to ask you another question. How many of you know the name of Barbie's boyfriend? That's really sad. If you mention the name of Barbie's boyfriend, then you're telling me you know the name of the boyfriend of a doll? Ken? Are marketers good? Can they put this in our mind? Do you know that Ken and Barbie broke up? Google that. They did. They're back together now. They broke up. Okay. So if marketers aren't really good, not only do we know the name of a doll, we know the name of the doll's boyfriend. Personally, I think Barbie should break up with Ken and start dating G.I. Joe. That is a marketing made in heaven. Barbie's getting a little soft. G.I. Joe could really, really help her with all that exercise and all that stuff. And then, you know, sometimes V.I. Joe just gets off the deep end. Barbie needs to kind of calm him down. It'd be a great romance. So I think Ken needs to go and G.I. Joe needs to come in. And remember, G.I. Joe's had he's had his own feature-length movie. He's a pretty big deal himself. All right, product life cycle. I think that takes care of most of what we need to talk about, if I can find my sheet, about product. All right. That's chapter 8. Wow, we've got chapter 9 and 10, and we have finished up. Unit 2. So I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to probably come back in a few minutes and knock out chapter 9, which is kind of a specialty chapter, and then we'll get to chapter 10. My executive producer, Ryan Pierce, is waiting on a loud clap from me to show him that chapter 8 is over. So I will do that, and I will see you in chapter 9.